guys, what's up? Scotch Duck here once again. Okay. Game Boy. We're doing my Game Boy collection. Definitely one of my smaller collections that I have. In fact, if you didn't notice the title of the video or whatever the fuck I've called it, I'm doing original Game Boy and Game Boy Advance included in here. I'm not doing Game Boy Color because I don't own any Game Boy Color games. Seriously, it was like, I had a Game Boy growing up, right? But my whole world was like Tetris and Super Mario Land. That was it, and maybe a couple other games, but yeah, we never really got games for the Game Boy. It really was just the Tetris and Mario machine in the house, and I didn't really have like a Game Boy Advance growing up, but I have a decent chunk of good Game Boy Advance games here, which I'll go over. But they were kind of just things that I got because I like to collect them, I suppose. They were just nice things to have. Whatever, let's get on to it. Right, you want to know how many original Game Boy games I fucking have? 5. I have 5 original Game Boy games, okay? Tetris. Everybody's fucking got that one. Kind of inevitable, isn't it? Here's a good one. Here's Kirby's Dream Land. The very first Kirby game we got. Look, he's not even pink on the cover. Because Game Boy was in black and white, I guess, and they didn't really establish that he was pink just yet. Looking at this collection, I'm sorry noticing that I don't even have Mario Land on hand right now. Don't know where my cartridge went, and I don't own it physically right now, but whatever. Small Soldiers. Now, this was a game that somehow did make its way to my house. Me and my brother, we were relatively big fans of the film, as in we got the film on VHS and we watched it a number of times, and I guess my mum was like, oh, he'll like this, and she bought it, and it's like such a fucking shit game, but has like stupid nostalgic value for me, so that's a thing. Next is Bomberman GB, don't think I've ever popped this in. And here we have Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, probably my favourite Game Boy Advance game. A really good Zelda game, all things considering, you know. The Cult DX version on the Game Boy Color is obviously better. I have that for the 3DS, so that's my preferred way to play it. But yeah, a really good Zelda game, honestly. Okay, Game Boy Advance games. Like I said, here are my loose games first. I own quite a fair bit of like boxed games, but we'll do the loose ones first. Donkey Kong Country 2. I don't know why I have it really. I have the SNES version, and I think those versions are supposed to be better. I don't know, but there you go. Legend of Zelda Minish Cap. One of my least favourite Zelda games, if I'm honest. I don't know, I didn't find it as like enjoyable as most other 2D Zeldas, but it's still a Zelda game, so I still enjoyed it to some extent, but there you go. Jurassic Park. Mario Party Advance, is that what it's actually called? Yeah, Mario Party Advance. Don't think I've ever popped this in, don't know why I have it. Yeah, I really don't pop in Game Boy Advance games that often unless I have like a specific reason for it, I suppose. Okay, here's a reproduction cartridge again. Mother 1 and 2, this was released only in Japan before Mother 3 came out, and it was supposed to help hype up that game, and it has Mother 1 and 2 on it. I really want to play through them at some point, if I'm honest, you know, because I've talked about before how I'm such a big Mother fan, so it'd be cool to just see how they played on the Game Boy Advance, you know. But one day maybe. And here I have Sonic Advance, Sonic Advance 2, and Sonic Advance 3. Games that I don't really think about too much, if I'm honest. And I do definitely like them. Either, like, I think Sonic Advance 2 was my favourite, at least that's the one I remember enjoying the most. I know a lot of people go nuts over Sonic Advance 1 because I'm that deep enough in the Sonic fanbase that I know Sonic Advance 2 is probably quite hated because this is where it got like, oh, gotta go fast, as opposed to a sort of like fast-paced platformer like Sonic Advance was. And I don't think I even beat Sonic Advance 3. There was a lot of bottomless pits, I remember that, and I remember just getting super frustrated. I was like, right, fuck this. Not that it was a bad game, but again, I didn't really care to beat it, so yeah. Sonic Advance games, I'm surprised you can't like play these on like some sort of modern system. They were only ever released on the Game Boy Advance. You'd think that I don't even think they were on the Wii U's Virtual Console, were they? I don't think they were, but yeah, it's Sonic Advance Trilogy. There you go. Okay, so the rest of my Game Boy Advance games are boxed, and yeah, like I said, they were boxed because probably I had like a nagging feeling at the time. It's like, oh, I've got to own them in the box, you know, otherwise there's no point, which is obviously a bit silly because finding Game Boy Advance games in the box is stupid hard and stupid expensive. But I'm stupid, so yeah, here we go. Right, the first thing, my favourite Game Boy Advance game. Can you guess? Can you take a fucking guess what my favourite Game Boy Advance game is? Mother 3, and yes, this is a reproduction cartridge. It's in a DS Cases game, and it came with like a little Franklin badge thing. You know, I think I said this in my other collection video. I was talking about like the reproduction cartridges I got. I don't even know where I necessarily got these things. Oh my god, it won't come out. There we go. Here's the cartridge right here. Yeah, I would have probably just like scoured eBay for a bit and I saw like Mother 3 reproduction cartridge and I saw the case and I was just like, I'll take it. And yeah, Mother 3 is fucking good. I only ever played it once, which is weird because I've played fucking Mother 1 multiple times, but not this one. Maybe I'm just like waiting out for a re-release on modern Nintendo consoles, as if that's ever fucking gonna happen, but maybe one day. Either way, still my favourite Game Boy Advance game. Here's Sword of Mana. I believe, I'm hoping I'm not getting my facts wrong here, but I believe that this was the very first Secret of Mana game in that series, I should say. I think, fuck. And yeah, I remember I tried to get into it and I couldn't really. It just wasn't pulling me, but I kind of moaned about that already in my SNES game collection, about how the Secret of Mana series, it kind of just peaked on the Super Nintendo for me and hasn't really matched that feeling since. Here's Gunstar Future Heroes. I was talking about this in my latest collection update. Yeah, I really need to get like a better means of playing Game Boy Advance games. Some of you suggested a few things and I'm trying to look into them, but whatever. Right, let's talk about some of these together. Okay. Here we have Castlevania and a Castlevania double pack. Now, I'm trying to remember, I don't have it completely on hand right here, but these are like the Game Boy Advance trilogy, I guess, of Castlevania games. I cannot remember playing these games at all, which is weird because the Castlevania trilogy on the DS, Dawn of Sorrow, Portrait of Ruin, and Order of Ecclesia, I fucking love every single one of those, whereas I'm not even sure if I beat all of these. Fuck, you can see how much the Game Boy Advance really sort of has on me. But I do love the Metroidvania, Castlevania games, absolutely. So they were definitely nice pickups. Now, oh god, okay guys, I talk about cursed games a lot, okay? Games that I have started playing multiple times throughout my life and just never beat. And no greater there's no better example of cursed games than these two things. Fire Emblem and Fire Emblem the Sacred Stones. Sacred Stones is cellophane wrapped. I got lucky with this one for sure. And this is a pretty good nick as well. But yeah, I just like... I always never beat them. Like seriously, I've gotten so far in both of them. I've probably put in like 40 hours each through multiple playthroughs and stuff. But I just don't see them through. I don't know why. You know, I'm a fairly moderate Fire Emblem fan at this point, I think I would admit. I'm pretty sure back in the day I had myself convinced that I was a bigger Fire Emblem fan than I actually was. You know, I don't know why. For some reason I thought it was cool to like be into Fire Emblem, and I don't know. The human mind is weird, but I got these two anyway, and I own like every possible way you could probably own them. I own them on like the Wii U Virtual Console. I got them on the 3DS, well, one of them on the 3DS because they were part of that ambassador program, and yeah, just never fucking beat them. Never fucking beat them. Don't know why. Okay. Here we have Breath of Fire 1 and 2. This is a series I have not started yet. It's one of the many like JRPG series that are just on the back burner. I think I have Breath of Fire 3 and 4 on the PS1, I think. But I'm gonna be that sort of guy and start from the beginning. So these were just like ports of the Super Nintendo versions, I believe. So yeah, I got them. Just need to find some time to actually sit down and play them, that's all. Another series right here, Advance Wars. Look at that old school game price sticker right there. I have played this one. I really like it. I paid a tenner for it apparently somewhere, which was pretty good. It's like, I actually really got into the fact that this is a pure strategy game. You know, there's no RPG here, it's pure strategy. And yeah, you can tell it's like Fire Emblem-esque, but also has its own identity. And yeah, I really dug this game. And I've not delved into any of the other games yet. I think I own them all actually, the ones on the DS as well, but yeah, Black Hole Rising. Not popped this in yet. Really should, because this was a really good game, Advance Wars. I approve. Here we have, I'm just showing these games in twos now. Here we have the Golden Sun games. Golden Sun, I've not played the sequel, I've only played this first one. And let me tell you, my most recent memory with this, right, was popping it in and playing through it again during the Grinch leak, when Isaac was actually, he was part of that leak to be in Smash Brothers. So I'm like, oh, because I played this ages ago, but it was one of those games, I need to think of a name for it. It was one of those games that I just played to the end and like was just so happy to be done with it and didn't like enjoy it over the way. I just played it for the sake of playing it. And I feel like it deserved better than that. So I started playing it during the Grinch leak. And when the Grinch leak got confirmed to be fake, I actually just stopped, which I got pretty far in it as well. So I was kind of like, wow, I guess I just don't like Golden Sun as much as I'd like to think I do. Which is weird because it's made by Camelot and it looks like the Shining games, which I totally fell in love with over the last couple of years. So it's just like weird that I couldn't get into this as much, but maybe one day I will pop in the other ones, but for now, Golden Sun, it's alright. Okay, last few games here. Here we have Tales of Fantasia. Fantasia. Bit of a botched port, according to most people, compared to the Super Nintendo version. People don't like the translation as much. It's not that bad, honestly, and it's alright. I dug this game, if I'm being totally honest. I like the characters. I was definitely playing it during my sort of like height, when I was at the height of my like Tales of love, you know, the series and whatnot. But yeah, it's nice to have. It's very nice to have, for sure. So, Tales of Fantasia. Awesome. Okay. Here's Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga. I played through this on the Wii U Virtual Console. It's pretty good. I'm quite fond of the Mario and Luigi games. I just got done playing Bowser's Inside Story on the 3DS. Good stuff, good stuff. And my last game here is Harvest Moon, Friends of Mineral Town. It is Friends of Mineral Town, yes. This is a port of Harvest Moon Back to Nature for the PS1. I think that's what it's called. But this is supposed to be the better version. I've not popped it in yet. Big surprise. But yeah, I love Harvest Moon, so I had to have it. So yeah, there you go. Okay guys, and that's all the Game Boy games. So next time we'll be doing, well, we're going to move on to DS and then 3DS. Those are definitely going to be separate videos. They're a bit big, those collections. So yeah, see you after guys. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.